The crumbling European economies are adding more and more taxes, once again on the small productive class of their countries. And this is leading wealthy people to escape European countries at record rates. The UK last year had the second highest net exodus of millionaires in the entire world, which is saying something considering the other countries that had a lot of millionaire exodus have much higher populations. And of course, these European countries, rather than fixing their problems, rather than reining in their spending, rather than making their services actually good, no, they are instead doubling down on the policies that don't work, of just villainizing these evil wealthy people who build successful businesses and created jobs. They are the enemy. They are the reason why the country is poor. So we just need to take more of their money. Of course, that's the solution. So here I have a couple of countries that are either adding or considering adding some pretty significant new taxes for entrepreneurs, for high earners going into 2025 and beyond. These include two countries that are highly considering to add an exit tax, most likely very soon, and other big countries where the tax burden that is already sky high, historically high, is going to go up for wealthy people. So first we have the Netherlands. We have this article over here. The Dutch parliament instructs government to work on an exit tax plan. And when you look into the details, the way this would essentially work is that not only are you going to be taxed on the unrealized gains of your business or any of your assets on the day when you leave, they actually already kind of have an exit tax like this. Now, if you work with us, we would send you to a professional who can tell you the details on that. But not only that, you would also be a tax resident for a full 5 years of the day when you leave the Netherlands. Just to give you a perspective on just how insane this is, imagine going to a hotel, and then after you leave the hotel keeps charging you the daily rate of the hotel for 5 years after you have left to contribute to the public good and the maintenance of the hotel or something like that. Imagine that you subscribe to a gym for a year. You unsubscribe from the gym because the gym sucks, but then for 5 years after that, the gym keeps charging you for the gym services just because you one time in the past used the gym. Imagine going to a restaurant and you eat the restaurant, the food sucks, so you never go there again, but the restaurant keeps billing you the rate for their meals for 5 years after you leave the restaurant. This is how insane these kinds of taxes are. You're trapped in the tax system forever, or I guess for 5 years, even though you no longer use the services. You were paying for the services when you were using them, fair enough, but even though you're not using them anymore, you still have to pay. This is the level of insanity that we are getting into. The next country, we have the UK. As Dubai becomes the new Chelsea, brace for exit taxes. So the UK has come under pressure to impose its own levy on wealthy departees as the Labour government seeks to plug a £22 million budget hole. This is all apparently in the name of leveling the playing field with places like Dubai with low or no income taxes. So this is essentially equivalent to is, let's imagine you have Netflix and Disney Plus, two streaming services. You have one of them that is really great. Let's imagine Disney Plus is a really amazing service with a very low price. You have Netflix that is trash with a very high price. And then you have Netflix customers that are going from Netflix to Disney Plus. For Netflix, rather than actually improving their service, that would induce people to say, or lowering the price to make it more in line with the quality, no, what their solution would be is to impose some sort of rule where if you are one time a Netflix subscriber, when you unsubscribe, you have to pay a fee of $100,000 or something like that to trap people into remaining Netflix customers, and thus doing the opposite, i.e. not giving them any incentive to actually improve the services. This is completely equivalent to these exit taxes. Rather than making these countries attractive so people would want to pay, they will simply impose these draconian rules to force people to keep paying, to force people to stay. Then we have France, who are flirting with citizenship-based taxes. So there was already a proposal in the French Parliament that was not passed, I believe, but in the new 2025 budget proposal, there's a bunch of different new taxes. We have an extension to additional tax on high income. They already have this contribution exceptionnelle, so like an exceptional tax rate for very high incomes, which is apparently 250,000 euros a year. But now they are proposing a further additional charge, a contribution différentielle sur les autres revenus. There's proposed new tax increases for investment income from 30% to 33%. And much more. And the bigger point here is not even the specific taxes they're increasing that is going up by a couple of percent. It's the general attitude that if you make money, if you're wealthy, you're evil. You're the reason we're poor. And this would all be well and good if it actually worked. It would all be well and good if the GDP per capita of these European countries didn't look like this. These European countries like France, Germany, UK are literally on real terms poorer today than what they were in 2008. That's 17 years ago. It would all be well and good if crime statistics did not look like this. This is violent crimes in France. This is Numbers Safety Index. We can see that right at the top, the safest countries in the world. We have places like United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Taiwan, Oman, Hong Kong, Singapore, etc. And if we go down on this list, we see that on place number 87, we have United Kingdom. 87 out of 147 countries. Amazing wealthy country with great tax benefits. It's literally in the bottom half of all the countries in the world in terms of safety. It is less safe than Morocco, less safe than Egypt, less safe than Indonesia, Lebanon, than Sudan or Zambia. You would literally be safer in Zambia than in Canada, in the UK, in the United States, in France. And to find France, we need to go all the way to place 110. France is in the same sort of levels of safety as Kenya, Ivory Coast, Libya, Fiji, Uganda. North Korea is safer than France. Amazing, great tax benefits, amazing country. And if you look at the budgets of these governments, despite of however much they keep taxing, the taxes keep going up, somehow the governments are still completely broke. If you look at the assets versus the liabilities these countries have, plus how much they spend versus how much they take in, these governments are literally the equivalent of some debt-ridden individual who has hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt and who still goes into more and more credit card debt every single year. The point is that I'm not upset about these taxes because they would hurt me as a high earner, although that would obviously suck for me. But if they actually benefited the country, the public, I mean, it would be a net benefit. But the point is that it doesn't work in practice. And the issue here is that these high taxes might have worked like 100 years ago, 50 years ago, when people didn't have that many options. These days, when you have these high taxes, people are simply going to leave. You see this in the statistics. You see wealthy people, entrepreneurs, builders, the kind of people who actually pay these taxes, they're just going to other places. We are going through a period where people are more and more realizing that places like the United Arab Emirates, Singapore, places in Southeast Asia, places in Eastern Europe are offering much better value, better safety, better services, better culture, everything like that for much lower prices. So these wealthy people who are precisely the people who are the most able to leave are simply leaving. That is exactly what I did. I left the UK, left the crumbling Europe to the UAE, where I get to pay 0% income tax while getting better infrastructure, better weather, better public safety, one of the safest places in the world. We just saw that on the list. So if you are still in one of these countries, you want to leave now. You don't want to be the last one there who's having to pay for everyone else when literally every other wealthy person who's paying taxes has already left, because then they are going to have to make it impossible. We can already see they're imposing exit taxes because the last straw, the last stand that they can make is after they've already increased the tax rates to sky high levels and people are still leaving, things are still not working. At some point, they'll just have to make it impossible. They'll have to impose citizenship-based taxation. They'll have to impose exit taxes to trap you into the system. So if you leave now, while you still can leave some of these countries, you can escape before it's too late. Then the question is, where can you go? There's many options around the world. The country that I talk about the most, that I went to personally, that I know about the most, is the United Arab Emirates. If you look at the opposite side of this chart of where millionaires are going, or where millionaires are going the most, the UAE is at the top. Many reasons for this. The place is super safe, infrastructure is amazing, you have other entrepreneurs there, amazing for networking, you actually make more money by going to the UAE, and also on top of that, you are keeping a much higher percentage of your money. This is why moving to the UAE was the best decision in my life. And if you're interested in leaving any of these European countries or any country and moving to the UAE, then we can help you. We have a company where we've helped more than 400 people go through this process. We will give you a full service on exactly how to go through the legalities of leaving your home country, as well as how to then set up legally in the UAE. We will set up your company, get your residence visa, get your bank accounts for you, and everything else that you need. And you also get access to a network of our clients, so you don't have to just move to the UAE and not know anyone. We will put you in a group chat with all of our clients, so you can instantly also have access to a network of like-minded entrepreneurs who have come here. So if you're interested, you can book a free consultation with one of my team members down below in the description, where we will explain the process, how everything works, and you can ask any questions you have, if you have any doubts. So book that free call down in the description if you're interested. And if you're interested in hearing more about the realities of moving to the UAE in terms of how the process actually works, why the UAE is such a great option these days, I recommend watch this video right here. So watch that video next, and I will see you in the next one.